How's it going, everyone? Welcome to the channel. Today we have an exciting new knife to check out coming in from Olitans. A big thank you to them for sending this in. This knife is available and I will have it linked down below in the description. If you're new to the channel here and you enjoy knife and EDC content, you're in the right place. Make sure you subscribe because I release daily videos, and as always, let us know what you are carrying in your pockets today down in the comments. So we have an Olitans knife here, and pretty exciting when we get one of those because they have some very good quality knives. We have a removable Olitans RE there, and we have a nice denim pouch here with a bunch of goodies inside. This is going to be called the Olitans GO56 or just G56. And what this is, couple of extra goodies there. What this is a replaceable and a true replaceable bladed pocket knife. And kind of sounds at first like it might be somewhat kind of gimmicky, right? But in this case, we are going to be looking at three different blades, three different blade shapes, and they are all going to be coming in 14C28N steel, which they have commonly used since their inception. And it's going to be done 59 to 61 on the HRC for each blade. So you are really getting a ton of versatility with the GO56 here. Depending on what you are going to be doing, you have the ability to really, adhere to what you're doing. If it's just casual daily use, drop point. If you got some more, hands-on, maybe you're doing carpentry work, stuff like that, Tanto blade would come in handy. If you're breaking down a lot of material or you're doing utility cuts, you have that sheep's foot blade there. And we are looking at dual thumb studs for the deployment. And we have a crossbar lock for our locking mechanism. The springs feel nice and strong. We have a deep carry clip that's recessed, and it will be left-hand friendly. We have a lanyard hole, G10 backspacer, steel liners in there for that lock bar mechanism, and those are going to have weight relief. Very, very interesting idea here behind this thing. Now, we will take a closer look on how to take the blades out here, but let's go ahead and get a couple of specs on this. I'm checking out the choils and the sharpening area. You'll have to let me know what you think, but it looks like you're going to have quite a bit of sharpening life in these till they really start to thicken up, especially with that one here. Going to look fairly similar. It's pretty thin here. I mean, it actually looks pretty good on all of them. So quite a bit of sharpening life in all three of these blades, which is that's a really good thing because you're going to get a ton of life out of these three blades. We are going to be looking at a, we'll call it 7 7/8 overall with a 3 1/4 cutting edge, 3 1/2 overall. And we'll put up a couple of comparisons. We got the full size bug out and the drop bear. You'll see that this is quite a bit bigger than both of those. And we bring out a couple of larger knives with the full size Kaiser Milital and the full size Raccoon from Vastid. And it's going to be much more in line with both of those. I'd say almost identical to the Raccoon and very close to the Milital. The Milital might be just a smidge longer. So let's go ahead and see what this thing looks like in the pocket. Going to carry nice and deep and shouldn't have any trouble. Good retention over that initial ramp. And yeah, that's going to look pretty nice in the pocket there. You'll have just a tiny bit poking out there, and you have just a nice clean clip there. Good retention on that pocket clip, and it's wonderful that they include lefty option and put a filler tab there. Very nice. And then we have some very nicely finished G10, which we didn't even talk about yet. But just some high quality G10. Nothing crazy, but some decent looking stuff, decent feeling stuff, well finished. Very nice. And I can't remember off the top of my head, but I want to say these were coming in right around 70 bucks, which is, you know, if it was just a single blade in this, I'd say, that's a little high, right? That's 10 to 15 bucks high. But the fact is, you're adding two other blades of 14C here, which is, that's going to add a tremendous value to this knife. And it's not like you're getting 3 drop points, you're getting 3 totally different blade shapes. So that way you have quite a few different abilities with this knife. So what kind of weight are we looking at for this thing? We are going to find out. It does not weigh that much. I'm going to say, we've been really off here. Let's say 3.6. Ooh, getting back on track, baby. 3.55, it's saying. So, not too shabby at all in regard to the weight. And I have quite a bit of experience with Olitans 14C. I have several of their knives in that steel, and it is done very well. And on top of that, I have seen some other real-world testing on their 14C that really just kind of, cements the fact that it's pretty good quality stuff. So let's see what kind of edge we're working with here on the drop point. Come on. Yeah, that has a very nice edge on it if I can get out of my own way. Let's see what this kind of... Can we get in here with this guy? Probably be a little easier if we just switched it. We will check that blade and see how it is to switch them from one blade to the next. So you might have to bear with me on this one, but we'll see. It looks like all we have to do is, should we close that to be safe maybe? And it looks like this should be, yeah. Probably could have just left it open, I guess. Looks like that's the road to success there, which is a great idea. So what do we got here? Oh, very good idea. I like that. So then probably be easier to do the post through. I don't think it much matters. Probably whatever's easiest for you. But that slides into that little groove there. And then boom. Interesting. This is a great idea to do something like this. This is an excellent idea. And to put it out in 14C28N, that just, we got the little steel marking here on each blade. That is very well thought out. You see a lot of replaceable blade utility knives, so on and so forth. There's a lot of cool stuff out there. This right here is what really brought Olitans onto the market. It was their replaceable scalpel blade knives, folding knives. This is like a fourth iteration. This is one of their newest ones here. But that is how they started out, is with these replaceable blade scalpel style knives. And then they started dabbling in pocket knives and then blended the two together, which it's a really, really solid idea. And with everything that's out there, I use this quite a bit. It's not something I prefer over a standard pocket knife. So a lot of times, if these two are in front of me, I'm going to pick up the pocket knife, more often than not. But I use this to get into various things or whatever. And I have, utility knives, replaceable utility blade folding knives like the Tyrant here. But having the 2 extra blades with this is a huge game changer for this type of knife right here. I mean, that gives you a ton of, if these are all, say, stropped, sharpened up, nice good edge on all 3, and maybe not keep them in this plastic. I mean, you probably could, but if you could come up with a hard case to put each one in, just a skinny hard case just that these fit into, or something like that, I mean, you would have a ton of edge retention between these 3 blades and a ton of versatility. I mean, draw cuts and utility style cuts with the sheep's foot blade. And like I said, if you're some sort of tradesman or you're doing anything like that, Tanto blades, in my opinion, work very well. You still have the pokey tip. You have that second edge for scraping and whatnot. And then you still have a nice straight edge here as your primary. And then, of course, a drop point blade speaks for itself. Very versatile blade shape. But just depending on what you're going to be getting into, you can kind of plan and put on which blade. Or you can use one up, put that one to the side, use, and maybe sharpen it and put a new one in and just kind of rotate through them all. That way they're getting kind of equal use. I do want to, before we head out, check this lock, but I don't foresee any issues. This might be one of the coolest knives, one of the coolest projects I've seen all year. I don't think we're going to have any trouble out of this thing. It sounds very good. Yeah, very good. Good protrusion on the crossbar lock. They don't stick out real far, but good enough that you don't have to dig in there to try and unlock this thing or anything like that. And then, of course, the ball bearings are going to give you a nice, silky, smooth close. Like I said, the springs are nice and strong, so you're gonna get a satisfying deployment out of this for a crossbar lock. I think this is a great little kit right here and a great little setup. If you could find a way to, if you were packing or putting this in some sort of kit, if you could find a way to, maybe put the drop point on or the Tanto and keep the sheep's foot with you, just to give you that lower tip and utility out of the blade, that would be sweet. If they would include something like just a hard plastic case even to put these blades in instead of the baggie, even if that raised the price $1 or $2, I think that would be an added touch that Olitans could do. That way, if they are razor sharp, they're not going to be piercing the bag. But I think a nice little plastic hard case would be perfect, and that would help you keep these with you. You'll have to let me know, what do you think of the G56 here with its replaceable blades? I think it's a great idea, great steel choice to do it in as well. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up button. That helps push the video to more people. If you're new to the channel, I release daily knife and EDC content just like this. Make sure you subscribe and ring the bell. That'll notify you anytime I release new content. I'll put a couple of new videos up on your screen. Go check one of them out. Have yourself an awesome day. Thank you all again for watching. I will catch you on the next one.